Okay, so you were given pricing data for a stock fund and a bond fund. You found the expected return, the standard deviations, and the correlation. You draw a line like this, and then I want to know where's the minimum risk. This is going to be called the minimum variance portfolio. That's where I can take the least risk possible. So how do I do that? Well, I want to find, and this is going to be a little bit of math, but I want you to see that this formula doesn't just drop out of the sky. This is an equation that's derived. So the variance of the portfolio is equal to the weight of the stock fund squared times its variance, plus the weight of the bond fund squared times its variance, bond, plus 2 times the weight of the stock, the weight of the bond, times the covariance. In order to find the minimum or maximum of a function, I need to find the first derivative. So imagine we switch the axis here if you're a math person. So imagine that we just flip this thing around. We want to find the minimum. I want to find the minimum with respect to the weight in the stock fund. So I'm going to make a choice of how much to put into the stock fund. I know the weight of the stocks plus the weight of the bonds is equal to 1. So if I make a choice with stocks, I therefore made the choice with bonds. So let's rewrite this just in terms of the weight in the stock fund. So instead of WB squared, I have 1 minus WS squared times the variance of bonds, plus 2 times the weight, 1 minus weight of the bonds, 1 minus weight of stock, covariance of the two. Let's expand this out. It's going to be the weight of the stock squared, variance of the stock, plus the variance of the bond fund, minus 2 times the weight of the stock, the variance of the bond fund, plus the weight of the stock squared, variance of the bond fund, plus 2 times the weight of the stock, covariance of stock and bond, minus 2 times the weight squared, covariance of stock and bond. Okay, so now let's combine terms. And I'm going to do this in red just to change colors here. What I want to do is I want to find all the WS squareds. So there are all the WS squareds. And so it's going to be sigma S squared, the variance of the stock. Get rid of that guy. Plus the variance of bonds. Get rid of that guy. Minus 2 times the covariance of stock and bond. Get rid of that guy. That's all multiplied by the weight of the stock fund squared. And then let's look at WS by itself. There are 2 of those. So plus, this is 2 times the covariance of stock and bond minus 2 times, that should be a squared term right there, minus the variance of bonds, all that times WS, then plus sigma B squared. So you want to set this equal to 0. Find the first derivative. So find the first derivative. Let me do that. Right here. The derivative of the variance of the portfolio with respect, or the change in the variance of the portfolio with respect to the change in the weight in the stock fund is equal to 2 sigma S squared plus 2 sigma B squared minus 4 the covariance of S and B times WS plus 2 sigma SB minus 2 sigma B squared. I want to set that equal to 0 and solve. Well, we can note here the 2's all cancel out and this 4 becomes a 2. So I move this term across. The weight in the stock fund is equal to sigma B squared minus sigma SB over sigma S squared plus sigma B squared minus 2 sigma SB. This is the weight in the stock fund of the minimum for the minimum variance portfolio, and the weight in the bond fund is equal to 1 minus that. So if I plug these numbers in from here, so I'm taking the numbers from here, plugging it into this equation, it gives me a percentage to put in stocks. 1 minus that, put that percentage in bond, and that's the least risk I can possibly take.